And I'm also from St Jude's today. We've got Elena and Navarone, who are the two care coordinators. Unfortunately, our care manager, Patricia, couldn't be here today because she's at a funeral. So just to tell you a little bit about St Jude's. It's a very large home. It's got about 42 beds.
Yeah.
And I think we already felt that there was quite a high standard of care of the residents, and a lot of our residents have very complex needs. So we have a lot of advanced dementia, we have a lot of end-of-life care, and more actually coming in. We also have lots of auxiliary staff, obviously, as you all do, and I generally feel that we're quite a sort of family-orientated home. When I walk in, it feels like it's like a home from home. It's a very homely atmosphere, and I think that that's really important. All the staff are very caring, whether it's the nurses or the support workers, and when I go around and see how they actually encourage the residents to eat and actually spend time with them doing different activities, like, for example, they do music and they do baking and they do art, and I think it's really important that it's, you know, that they're not just existing there, they're living, and I think that's you know, been our aim from the start. They also have a lot of long-term conditions like diabetes and COPD, and we try and keep patients out of hospital wherever possible. And before the Vanguard, we basically, I used to do a round every Monday morning, which still happens. And I think the main difference is that we always do it together now with Elena or Navarone, and it's always the same team. And we also have Dr. Indra Kumar here, who's our GP trainee, who also comes on the round with us. So what's actually changed in terms of the Vanguard? Has it made a difference at St Jude's? Well, I think the main thing is that the care is more joint up. And although it's not, I wouldn't say it's seamless yet, I think there's still got a way to go, but I think it's definitely of a higher standard, because we all know the residents well, we all have really clear care plans, and we were talking about reducing hospital admissions, and I think the main key in reducing hospital admissions has been that we all know what the plan is. It's really clear. The families know, the nurses know, so we all know that if, you know, the patient was to deteriorate, what's going to happen, and I think we all feel comfortable with that because we've discussed it. There's also obviously been more staff training and support, which has been very helpful. We've talked about medicine management, and that's been excellent. I mean, High's really supported as well, and we've had that opportunity now to look at things that we just didn't have the time to do before and stop a lot of unnecessary medication. Look at drug interactions, so that's been useful. And I think we're managing chronic diseases better, again, because we've got the time to do that. The communication with families is better, as the care manager, as you said, you know when we're going to be there. So I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing for us, but I think it's really helpful for families that, you know, we have a meeting with them whenever they need to, because it's so important for them to know what the plans are. And I think what's really important now is we're not just accepting the status quo, and I think that's really key. We're actually pushing things. We're saying, you know, why don't we do things a different way? How can we improve here? And I think we've got the confidence to do that, and we're all committed to achieving this. And finally, I think what the Vanguard has done is recognise the very challenging work that we're doing. And that recognition, I think, it fills us all with a sense of pride, and actually makes us want to do more. So please let me know, Elena and Navarone, if you want to add anything, because I know you've kindly volunteered me to do this presentation. So what have been the challenges? I think that the challenges have been, I think, the time factor has been a challenge, and we've discussed, why that is in terms of, note keeping, in terms of, for example, myself and Hi meeting regularly, I think for the last Friday mornings, last 5 Fridays or something, to do medication reviews, and it's really time consuming, but we're hoping that time put in now will actually, make a big difference, and it won't be so time consuming later on. I think we need maybe more training for end-of-life care, about communicating with families. I think we've also found that there's been gaps where, for example, where things can improve. Like, for example, this ear syringing is just an example that might be quite a simple thing to offer in nursing homes because the equipment's not expensive, that it's not difficult to do. And the logistics of actually getting someone to a GP surgery or getting a district nurse to come out, which obviously they won't because it's a nursing home, and actually just being a bit helpless is something that's quite simple. The other thing is like immunisations, like flu vaccinations, and having some training for that, because we've, as GPs, have been going around giving everyone flu vaccinations. So these sorts of things might be, and Zoladex injections was the other one. The other challenge has been, although we're getting to know the patients, there's a high turnover of patients all the time, and I think keeping up is still going to be quite a challenge. So I'm just going to finish off with an example of a case that sort of shows some of the things that we've put in place. So Mrs. L is a resident with Parkinsonian syndrome, and her main challenges are her memory, because she's got dementia associated with Parkinsonian syndrome, her mobility, she's immobile now, her speech is very little really, and communication is therefore a challenge, and her swallowing, because she's at high risk of aspiration. She also has quite a highly anxious and emotional family who are there pretty much all the time. And recently she deteriorated, her condition deteriorated, and it was quite difficult to try and manage the family's expectations, because they had questions like, why is she not eating anymore? Can we take her to hospital, give her some fluids because she's dehydrated? What's going to happen next? What happens if she chokes? So all of these things needed addressing, and we did that through talking to the family, but also getting the multidisciplinary team involved, like the SALT dietitian, and actually what was really what we found out is what they were worried about was the actual dying process. And it's because they hadn't actually seen anybody die. I mean, she had grown-up daughters, and they said, we've never seen anybody die, we don't know what happens. And actually talking to them about the dying process and saying, well, actually, it's quite normal for patients not to want to eat anything, or not to need to have very much intake, and what we will do to keep her comfortable, and what we will do about her pain, and just how we communicated to them about that with myself, and Elena was there, Patricia, our manager, was there, and I think they felt quite comfortable that they wanted her to stay at St. Jude's, and they were really happy with her care. Did you want to say anything?
No, I'm really happy. Yeah. It was really difficult for us, for me and for my team. All the time there was like, she's starving now, she needs to drink, she needs to have some food, she's starving, look at her, she didn't eat anything all day. So it was really helpful for us when Dr. Moani explained, and it was really amazing, yeah. And they understand she's not starving, her body just don't need any more food, and yeah.
And actually the family said to us that they felt that St. Jude's has really provided excellent care, and the reason why they're happy is because all the staff know Mrs. L. They're all caring, very patient in looking after her, because she is a challenging lady, and they know when I visit the home and when they can speak to me. They're very appreciative of all the other professionals that have been involved in her care, and it really helped also to refer her to palliative care team, who also sort of reinforced, worked with us to sort of reinforce the same messages. And they said we would really prefer Mrs. L to spend her last days in the home where she's most comfortable and where she's treated with dignity. So I think that was just one example, I think, of a case where we've been involved with recently. So finally, I'd just like to acknowledge our team at St. Jude's. I'd like to acknowledge the Sutton CCG Vanguard team, all of you, for your support, and Hay for your support as well, and also to the residents and their families, because it's a partnership really, and I think it's challenging work but very rewarding for us. And finally, I think that, you know, we just wanted to say that we all believe that it's a privilege to look after our elders and ensure that their last days are filled with happiness, dignity and compassion.